Well, good morning, everybody. The granny is back. And I've got myself a nice cup of coffee. And I skipped the cookie today because... Let me take a sip. It's so hot. Because I want to lose weight. So I skip my cookie. So when it is afternoon or tonight, I can have a cookie with my coffee. I just had breakfast, so a cookie, no, let's skip the cookie. I've got a lot to tell you. I've got a lot to tell you not to try at home. Because I have tried it and it failed. So let me learn you a lesson. Don't do what I did, but I'm going to tell you what I did, so you don't do it also. Hi, here is a nice kitty, but you can't see him, but maybe you can hear him. It's Doris. Of course it's Doris. Always when the camera turns on, Doris comes to help. Well, I'm going to take another sip. And put my coffee on the side over here. And I will tell you. Vonne has this nice Iceland. I unboxed it the last time for her. And then I said, please Vonne, give me some yarn. I really love the Iceland. Can I have the Iceland? And you all supported me. But Vonne was naughty. Vonne wanted to keep it all to herself. She has been playing with it to try and test it out, to see what the yarn would do and all, with crocheting and knitting and yeah. So I felt sorry for myself and I nicked some yarn. I really did. I nicked some yarn. Not a complete skein because that was a little bit much, but some leftovers from her trying. I nicked. She was so busy with other projects that I could say, this is mine. And I have been playing with it. And the playing went all wrong. So, yes. You see, this is a bit off-white. It is not quite white, but it's a bit off-white. I don't know if you can see it. The Iceland with thick biddies and thin biddies and very gorgeous yarn. And it's one skein, one string, 200 grams, 330 meters, 65% acrylic, 35% wool, and you should knit it and crochet it with needle 4.5. It's from Lamy. Lamy has such gorgeous yarn and all very affordable. You get really special yarn and really, even I can afford it and I don't have much money. They say you can wash it in the machine because here is the washing thingy and there's no little hand in it, so they say you can wash it in the machine. But it has 35% wool, so I don't know. I wouldn't try it, or you must have a wool program on your machine, then you could. And Doris is getting very annoying. He finds me sweet. He is licking my hand. You see? Now, I take a sip and you can lick my hand. Then we are both busy. Okay? You see, there he is. The sweet Doris. He almost threw over the camera. I think he wants to give you a little kopje. Because he thinks you are sweet too. Well, okay, you have seen this color. And I thought to myself, you know what? I want to paint it. So I did. I had a special pen for painting yarn, so it isn't a cooking pen, but a special pan where only paint for yarn has been in, and I thought, you know what, that's what I am going to do. So I made a string and on the garen paraplu, and I wasn't very patient. I thought one little touwtje around the string was enough, but it wasn't. You really, and this is what the lesson I will give you. Take your time to put more touwtjes around the string, zodat hij not in de warretje raakt. So that's very important, because I had only one touwtje, and it was one big warretje after painting. About the painting I will tell later, but this is very important. It was one big warretje. It was a mess. I have been busy for 2 hours after drying to get the big warretje out of the string. Really, I was. And it would have taken me less time to put all the touwtjes around the string than it was to get all the warretjes, because it was one big warretje. It was a mess. So take your time to do that. And I painted it with Dylon. And Dylon you can get at the drugstore, maybe at the supermarket, I don't know. Kruidvat sells Dylon. You can buy it anywhere. But Dylon, Joke told me, is for cotton, to paint cotton. And it says acrylic and wool and not cotton. But I thought, what the heck, I'm going to do it anyway. Ah. And that was my second mistake. Don't use Dylon, because this is the result. There is a color difference, you can see it. This is very light blue, baby blue, but a little bit more light. So you see a color difference, but I used the very dark purple. It should have been purple. And yeah, well, it's quite evenly. So it's not gemêleerd or something. It's quite even. Dus everywhere is paint. But yeah, Dylon is not good. So I talked about it with Juf Joke. And Juf Joke promised me she is going to paint with real stuff. And she already has a few videos about that. Maybe when I find them, or when Vonne finds them, she can put them down in the description how to do it. And Joke is going to experiment. So with the light colors and the darker colors of the same range, you know, like pink and red and then all in between, you know. That's what Joke is going to do. But this is a lesson you get from me. Make sure you put enough touwtjes around the string and don't use Dylon. Dylon does not really work. Or you must like this. Of course, then it's okay. But that's the lesson about the painting. Don't do it. Like I did, I mean. Like I did. Don't. That's not good. Don't try this at home. Like that, you know? It's not as hot as it was. But I wanted to show you another thing, so I'm going to put this aside. When I have room with Doris over here, he is laying long out and he is about 10 kilograms, so he is a big cat. But Vonne is knitting with it. She has knitting needles 9mm. Can you see it? 9mm. And the ordinary knitting needles. and she is knitting for a tutorial. Really, she is, but it takes time because Vonne doesn't knit that fast. And she has a cake, and she has this, the soft sensation from Lamy. She puts them together like one thread, and then knitting, you get this effect. Can you see it? I love it. This is just the tricot stake. So one needle knit and one needle purl, one needle recht and one needle averecht. And you can see the soft sensation, and you can see the lumpy parts and the tiny parts. You see? And on the other side, you get this, and this is even more robust, more landelijk, more. I have to think about sheep herders when I see this. It is gorgeous. She is knitting the backband of a vest. She is going to knit a cardigan. Very, very easy, especially for beginners. And because she uses 2 threads, she is knitting it with a 9mm knitting needle. And of course you can use the circular needle and all, really with some touwtje between the 2 points, you know, you can knit continental. It's for beginners, but it takes a while because when Vonne has knitted 4 needles, her hands hurt, so she has to stop again. And well, I think I am blabbling. Oh, I miss my cookie. But I am going to crochet, and I am using needle 5mm. Over here it said where here 4.5mm, but I am using a 5mm, and I am going to crochet a hat. Very basic, but I wanted to show you the effect of the thick and the thin biddies. But before I can start, I need a stitch marker. So I have to go and find myself a stitch marker. I will be right back. Really, I will. Wait a minute. Just a minute, a second. Just wait. So, I've got myself a stitch marker. And we are going to crochet. Doris is nicely laying down. This is his tail. He doesn't want me to touch it. I'm naughty today. I'm going to touch his tail. Well, we are going to start with a loop on our needle. 5mm and a loop. Like this. And now we are going to crochet 4, yes, let's do 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we are going to crochet a bit ingewikkeld. But just what I am doing. I'm going to yarn over, and in the first chain, in the back loop, like that, I put my needle, I pull up a loop, and then I yarn over and I go through 1 loop, like that. And then I hold this chain, you made a chain, I hold that stitch, I yarn over, and I'm going to finish a double crochet. Under 2 and under 2. Like that. Yarn over. And then the stitch you are holding, you are going to put your needle in, yarn over, pull through your loop, yarn over, pull through one loop, hold that stitch, and then finish your double crochet. So hold that stitch and under two and under two. You see, now you have 3 double crochets. These are the chains. That's your first double crochet, and in that 3rd stitch I'm going to put my stitch marker. So I know I have to close over there. So stitch marker in it. And I am going to crochet all these double crochets until I have the circumference of my head. So we are going to start at the bottom or at the end, how you will call it, with crocheting. So under that stitch I hold it, pull up a loop, yarn over, under one loop, hold that stitch and finish your double crochet, like that. Yarn over. The stitch you hold, you held your needle in it. Pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, hold that stitch and finish your double crochet, like that. It's a bit complicated, but it gives such a nice border, so please try it. See, like that. Pull through one, yarn over, hold that stitch and finish your double crochet. And the amount of stitches is not important. Just so you have the circumference of your head. You see, it's not difficult. You have to practice. And when you haven't done it before, you can practice with more easy yarn, without big thingies and thin thingies. But it's just the same. And the color of the yarn doesn't matter. You can do this even without the Iceland, but with other yarn. I just wanted to crochet with the Iceland. It's such a gorgeous yarn. And despite of being with wool in it, I don't find it pricky. It doesn't prick. Not to me. I'm a little bit used to wool, and then it doesn't prick anymore. Really, it doesn't. You have to get used to wool. People say they are allergic to wool, but what it's really like is that they find it pricky. But that's not allergic. Allergic is when you get blisters and you get sick and all, and that's usually not the case. You see, I'm just crocheting, holding that one loop I made over here, and I put my needle back in it, pull up a loop, go to one, yarn over, hold that one loop and finish the double crochet. Well, that's what I am going to do until I have my circumference of my head. Well, here I am again. This is the beginning with the stitch marker, this is the bottom, and this is the top. And when you look at the top, you have those V's, and at the bottom you have those V's. And it is gorgeous. Look at this. And I have to make a note. It's a bit lastig with Doris to stay in the picture. But I have measured the circumference of my head, and it's 56 centimeters. And when I measure this, let's straighten it out. There's a little crinkle in it. when you see it's 45, but when I stretch it out, it fits exactly around my head because it is flexible. So that's where you have to keep reckoning with, that it is flexible. So when you use a centimeter to measure the circumference, the omtrek of your head, then make sure you measure not this when it's nice and flat, but stretch it. Measure this around your head, so you are sure it fits. It can be a bit tight around your head because it is flexible and you want your head to stay in it. Let me find my loop over here. And now I am going to close the round. You see? Without a twist. And when you put this around your head, it should fit a bit tight. So, that's enough said. Now I'm going to close my round in the stitch with the stitch marker over here. You see? Right there. There's where I'm going to close with a slip stitch. I love slip stitches. Like that. A slip stitch. Is there no twist? Make sure there is no twist. No, there is no twist, so I can pull through my loop like that. And I think I'm going to use another stitch marker in a minute, that I am going to pin the bottom part a bit together so it doesn't twist while I'm crocheting. And I'm going to get myself another stitch marker to use to find the rows. And I found one here. On the ground I've got another one. Now we are going to crochet the brim of the hat. And we are going to do that with a board stitch. Just watch. 2 chains. That's 2. And in the second one, I'm putting my stitch marker again. And now, the next double crochet, you're going to make a front post double crochet. So, yarn over. On one side of the leg of the double crochet you go in, and on the other side you come out. Yarn over, pull through, and make your double crochet. Like that. And the next one, you're going to do a back post double crochet. So, yarn over. From the back, come through, and go back to the back. Like that. Yarn over, pull through your loop, and make your double crochet. And I haven't counted my stitches. There should be, to make it pretty, an even number of stitches, but I haven't counted it. So at the end I can make one a by, or I can skip one. We'll see. This was the front post, and now a back post. Like that. And then you get a nice border stitch. You see, front post and back post. Post is the little paal, and you go from the front, like that, front post. Or you go from the back, and it's a back post. You see, you do this all the way around, and when I'm at the end I will be back and I will show you what I do if I don't come good out. So that then I can show you how I fiddle a bit. So I'm almost at the end of my row, and I did a back post over here, and those 2 chains you did count as a back post as well. And I have 1 stitch left for a front post. So this fits for me. But what if this was a front post? Now there has to come a back post, of course, but there is a back post here at the beginning as well. Well, then you just make 2 stitches out of 1. You do 1 front post, 1 back post, 1 front post, and then it fits. But really, it's only a hat, so don't worry about it. That's what I would like to say. You see, I ended here with a front post, and then those 2 chains are the back post. But when you end with a back post, then you do another front post around the same stitch, and then it fits. Now I'm closing the round in the stitch with the stitch marker, like that, with a slip stitch. And I'm going to do that 1 more time, and you can fit it again around your head. Does it fit? Yes, great. Is it too small? Then start over. Is it too big? Then forget a little bit. It is really just do something. Doe maar wat is het. You know what Funna always does. So, we are going to do another round just like this. Dus 2 chains, and that counts as a back post double crochet. Stitch marker in the second chain, like that, and then you see a front post as the next stitch. So then you do a front post. Very easy. Front post double crochet. The next one you feel the ribble on the back, so it's a back post. From the back, around the post and back again. Pull up your loop and make your double crochet. And you follow that all the way around. When you see a front post double crochet, you make a front post double crochet. And when you see a back post double crochet, you feel the ribble with your finger on the back, then you make a back post double crochet. And then you have a nice brim around your head. You see, like this. You get those ribbles. That's very nice. I love that on a winter hat, because with this yarn it really is a winter hat. I really want a big winter with lots of snow and ice and hot chocolate with slack-green. Oh, and then a nice beaker with hot chocolate, with slack-green, with a nice underputter. Oh, I'm getting all in the mood. I want Christmas. Yeah, I want Christmas with all the lights and the decorations. I love it, I love it, I love it. But it's still summer over here. And summer looks like fall. It's rainy, it's windy, and then a little bit of sunshine, and then you think, oh, I can sit outside, and you take all your stuff to sit outside, and when you come outside, it's raining again, so you have to put all your stuff back inside, and it's such a fuss, and for old people like me, it's so much, and I think, well, then I will sit inside, and I will crochet a bit, or paint a little yarn and do it all wrong, like I told you. But you learned from that, didn't you? So, if you want to paint it the right way, you really have to go to Miss Joke. Teacher Joke, Juf Joke. I will put the link in the description. Well, Vonne will do that, because I only crochet and Wiebe knutselt the videos, and then Vonne puts them on the internet. I have no idea how to do that, but she will put the link to Miss Joke. Joke is a very talented teacher. She's very kind. She explains very well, and she shows all kinds of stuff. So it's very nice to go and watch her channel. Really it is. But I will finish this row and I will be back to close it. And I think the brim is big enough. It doesn't have to be a brim like this, or you must put it over, you know, like fold it over like that. But I think this is big enough. And I will be back to close the round and start the next one. So I am at the end of the round. I've made my last front post double crochet, and I should close the round where the stitch marker is. But I am not going to close the round. I'm going to continue in doorlopende rounds. So I am going to mark my first stitch each time, but I'm not closing the round. The stitch with the stitch marker, there I am going to crochet a double crochet. Like that. And that's the first of the round. And then each stitch a double crochet. And with this yarn, with the big thingies and the little thingies and all that stuff, you don't have to do complicated stitches, because the pattern will be made with the yarn. You get big stitches, tiny stitches, all kinds of stitches, only because the yarn is big and thin. You see? Every stitch a double crochet. You do not increase or decrease, you just make double crochets, and keep taking your stitch marker with you when you are over here and you have to double crochet in this one. Put your stitch marker in the new one over here, so you stay at the same stitch. And when I want to do something else, like decreasing, then I will be back and I can tell you how big I made this part, how many rounds, because you have to fit it around your head. Every time you make this kind of head on this way, fitting is the best. You can measure it, but like I showed you, my head had a circumference of 56 centimeters, but the row of double crochets, you see, it's much smaller, but when you stretch it, you see, it gets bigger, so it's a bit fit. Always fit. Because you don't want a head that's too wide at the brim, but then it sags over your eyes and all, and then you can't see anything, and then you are on your bicycle and your head sags over your eyes, you don't see anything, and then you can get in an accident, and don't blame me, please, because I tell you to fit. Really, it's important. So one double crochet, and I will be back to tell you how many rounds I did and how many centimeters it is, because I don't know yet. I haven't made a head like this before. This is for me the first time I do it like this, so I cannot tell you. But it's the first time, and you see it. I can do it, so you can do it as well. Really, I think you can. And you stitch in the small stitches, and you stitch in the big stitches. Don't forget to stitch. It's best well easy. It's not difficult. All you have to do is pay a little attention. And I have to say, this yarn crochets really nicely. to make a hat out of it, and in this color. Oh, really, like I said a minute ago, I want winter. I want hot chocolate with slag cream and a nice underputter and cookies. In Holland we call that koekjesopie. It is so much fun. In the early days they had when a river or a lake was frozen over and people went ice skating, there were koekjesopie tentjes. And people could buy hot chocolate and something nice to eat. And you can see that on old paintings and on old Dutch paintings. There you can see how they did it in the old days. But that was a long time ago. Oh, I'm at the last stitch before the stitch marker. You see? Oh, this goes really fast. So I can show you. I'm now at the stitch with the stitch marker. So I take it out. I make a double crochet in it. Like that. And I put my stitch marker back. And now I start my second round of double crochets. And the yarn gives a very nice pattern. With thick bitties and thin beanies and oh. You see, you go ahead, just like me, and I come back when this is big enough and I need to go and increase to close the head. Well, I am back. I have crocheted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds with just double crochets. You see? And the effect is gorgeous. 6 stitches, 10 stitches, all kinds of stitches. You see? And when you can take a look here at the beginning with the stitch marker where I close those two together so there won't be a twist in that first row. Then when you go straight ahead, you see your stitch marker at the beginning of the round went a bit crooked, a bit scheef. But that's okay, that's no problem. 9 rounds I have done, and now I am going, I can measure it for you. 9 rounds, how many centimeters? That is 14 centimeters, those 9 rounds, and in total it's 17 centimeters for an adult head. It's going to be a beanie, I decided. So now we are going to decrease, and we are going to decrease enormously. Stitch marker, I don't need anymore, because we are going to crochet every 2 stitches together. Just as long as till we have about 6 stitches left or something. So, yarn over, in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and don't finish your double crochet. Then you yarn over, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, and then you have 3 loops on your needle, yarn over through all 3. And that's what you keep doing until you don't have a lot of stitches left, I guess about 6 stitches or something. Just yarn over through 2 and the next stitch. Pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. You have 3 loops on your needle. Pull through all 3 loops. And then you will get a lot of decreases and your beanie will close itself. Just like that. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's the end of this. Look. This is what I am going to do. Every 2 stitches, decrease. Just like that. All the way around. And then you see, it will close itself. Well, I will be back when I think it's closed enough. The last piece I'm going to sew close with the needle and all. So the last little hole at the top of the beanie I will sew, and then I can take the needle and sew at the beginning here, the stitch marker I can get out and sew that closed, and then you have a very nice Icelandic beanie. Yeah, because the yarn is called Iceland, so it's an Icelandic beanie. I love it. And you know what? I get very naughty ideas over a shawl, a das. But I have to think about that, because I don't have any more of that painted yarn, so I have to use a skein, a new skein from Vonne, and I don't know if she wants to give me that, but maybe she loves it so much that she says, well, Granny, you made something pretty, you can have another skein and go ahead and make a scarf or something. So, you see, it's closing very fast. You see, it's really, that's what I am going to do. Let me try and show you what I have got. I have been crocheting 2 stitches together, and now I have 6 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I am going to do is skip the next stitch, and in the next one I'm going to make a slip stitch, and it's a bit fiddly, but skip one and in the next one a slip stitch, like that. And then you have somewhere over here, you see, here, my finger, there is a very small hole, and we are going to sew that closed. So, I cut my yarn with the tail, probably too big, but leave it too big than too small. Pull one more through, like that, closed. And now I take a big needle with a big eye and a blunt point, so, like that. And I get the thread through the eye of the needle, like that. And then you find those stitches. I find it handy to put my finger over here so I can see my finger and I know where the stitches are. And I am going to weave in the thread, like this. You see? Let me show. Next stitch. Just weaving it through. And then over here, here's one more. And the last one over here. And now, with beleid, you can pull on your yarn. And it's closing. And there will be no hole left. Well, a very small hole. Then the yarn to the inside of the head, the beanie, like this. Pull it and sew the thread away, so it won't come loose. Through a couple of stitches, back and forward. It's a bit fiddly. My bad eyes, it's lastig to see. But you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Just throw it. You can do it like this, go down, so it's much more easy to see. And then go back up again, like that. Just make something of it. It's the head, not the wedding dress. Come, like that. And I will do it one more time. And then it should be stuck through a stitch. The big thick part of the stitch. Cut it off. See, so I had a big tail, but it's only makkelijk. And this is what it looks like at the top now. It's nicely closed. And now I have to close where the stitch marker is at the bottom. So, thread on the needle again. Like that. And then close this part. You see, this was the bottom. And now we are going to close it. With a couple of stitches like that. So it won't come loose. I will go back again to the inside of the hat. And now I can sew it away. But with the brim of the hat, you really have to go sew it like this. Not like this, because it must be stretchy, but like this. So up and down, up and down. And when you do that 3 times, it will not come loose. Really, it won't. Oh, the thread of the needle, come on. You have to listen to Granny. You see? So, up and down, up and down, up and down. Couple of stitches. Like that. And then back down. I go 1 stitch up. A loopy up. And then I go a couple of loops down again. And 1 more time up. And really it won't come loose. 1 like that. So. Cut off that needle. And you've got yourself a beanie. I really like it. Now I have to weigh the beanie because I was going to tell you how much yarn I needed. So I'm going to get the scale and we can see how much I've used. So here is the scale. Let me put it on. Tip! You can see it, right? Now I'm going to fold it so it fits. And I have used 49 grams. Can you see it? 49. So that's not much. On one skein there is 250 grams. And this is 49, so let's say 50 grams. And you can make 4 hats out of 1 skein. Or you can make a hat and a scarf, a shawl, a das, a caul. You can do it. I hope you like this tutorial. And what I forgot to mention in the beginning when I was telling you don't do this at home, let me put this off, that saves the battery. I was telling about Juf Joke, who is going to try and paint this yarn. But she uses chemical stuff, a powder stuff. But I remember Mike from Mike's Creatieve Wereld, he has a whole series on painting yarn with natural stuff, with onion and beetjes and flowers and all that kinds of stuff. I don't know what it will do on this yarn, but there is 35% wool in this. So you can experiment. You can try it with the method of Mike. So I'm going to tell Vonne to put a link to his playlist. He has lots of movies about that. So in the description, Miss Joke, where you can see how she paints wool with the chemical stuffs. And soon she will try and paint this yarn the same way, so we can see if it works, if you don't want to try it first yourself. And Mike has a playlist with painting with natural stuff, but I don't know how it will work on this yarn. But you can play with it. It's fun playing with threads. I loved it with the dialen om te doen. But yeah, well, this was dark purple, but it turned out blue. I've got a bit left. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but we will see. I had a lot of fun. And when you say it is pricky, we can argue about that. It's not baby soft. it is not. But for a hat and a scarf, I would really do it. I don't know how you think about it, but you've got yourself a nice beanie like this. And I hope you enjoyed the video, that you look in the description box with all the links I told you about, and give a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. And don't tell Vonne I nicked her yarn. Don't tell her. She should have given it to me, but she didn't. So, bye. I'm going to have myself a nice cup of tea. So, here is the scale. Let me put it on. Tip. You can see it, right? Now, I'm going to fold it so it fits. And I have used 49 grams. Can you see it? 49. So that's not much. On one skein there is 250 grams. And this is 49, so let's say 50 grams. And you can make 4 hats out of one skein. Or you can make a hat and a scarf, a shawl, a das, a caul. You can do it. I hope you like this tutorial. And what I forgot to mention in the beginning when I was telling you don't do this at home, let me put this off, that saves the battery. I was telling about Juf Joke, who is going to try and paint this yarn, but she uses chemical stuff, a powder stuff. But I remember Mike from Mike's Creatieve Wereld, he has a whole series on painting yarn with natural stuff, with onion and beetjes and flowers and all that kinds of stuff. I don't know what it will do on this yarn, but there is 35% wool in this. So you can experiment. You can try it with the method of Mike. So I'm going to tell Vonne to put a link to his playlist. He has lots of movies about that. So in the description, Miss Joke, where you can see how she paints wool with the chemical stuffs. And soon she will try and paint this yarn the same way, so we can see if it works, if you don't want to try it first yourself. And Mike has a playlist with painting with natural stuff, but I don't know how it will work on this yarn. But you can play with it. It's fun playing with threads. I loved it with the dialen om te doen. But yeah, well, this was dark purple, but it turned out blue. I've got a bit left. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but we will see. I had a lot of fun. And when you say it is pricky, we can argue about that. It's not baby soft. It is not. But for a hat and a scarf, I would really do it. I don't know how you think about it, but you've got yourself a nice beanie like this. And I hope you enjoyed the video, that you look in the description box with all the links I told you about, and give a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. And don't tell Vonne I nicked her yarn. Don't tell her. She should have given it to me, but she didn't. So, bye. I'm going to have myself a nice cup of tea.